Let's see. And then let me share my screen. Who wants to go first? Don't all speak at once, y'all.
I can. Hey guys.
Nobody
but I
has
actually
homework today? What are we doing? What's going on?
I'll go
Hello?
first.
Hello.
Yeah, who said hello? I heard Stephanie. Steph, I'm sorry, I heard Steph.
Sharita.
Okay, Sharita's there. Okay, so I heard Steph first, so let's let her go first, and then you can go after her, Sharita.
All right, so the lesson plan I did was I went from the IXL, second grade social studies. So I do the science and all that together with both kids. So I did my lesson plan here. You can't see it, but
Okay.
it's for geography. So what I did was basically, I've highlighted what we've covered already, like you said in the first one. And I chose read a letter, number grid. So we're gonna do number grid. So then on my lesson plan, I have geography, what we're gonna do, read a letter number grid and use a letter number grid. Monday, introduction, went and found a YouTube video. Tuesday, we'll be making a map grid. Wednesday, using a map grid. And then Thursday, again, using a map grid. And I use beginning geography from Evermore.
Okay.
So that's what I did. So I chose to do something small because I get overwhelmed with my math and stuff. So I want to see how you do that and wait for you on that one.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. Something has happened to the wheel. So I'm going to put in the people that I remember. And then if you remember, whatever the case may be, you can say something, but I will also go back to the recording and add the people from yesterday. What happened was somebody emailed me their homework and I went in and added them and I don't think I saved it. And so it just went away. So I got you, Stephanie. Good work. Okay, go ahead, Sharita.
Okay, I have place value. And the first day for on Monday, I have YouTube videos. We do a lot of those. Place value songs, place value for kids 1 through 10, and place value brain pop. For lesson 2, because she's a 6-year-old, we do find the letter.
Okay.
Find the word numbers in the world. So she'll just go around the house and wherever she'll find a word, she find it on a number on the receipt, and she has to tell me which number is in what place value. And then we have base 10 blocks where we create numbers so she can have a visual, use the blocks to actually see how many 10s, how many 1s are actually in the number. And for 4, I did the for day 4, which is Thursday, is the live worksheets, which I never known about. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Those are awesome. So I did 3 of those sheets, which are doing a live worksheets on Thursday. And then Friday, I'll just quiz her.
Okay. All right. Who else? Does anybody else have their homework for today?
I do.
Okay. Who said I do? Was that Londa? Who said that?
Hawana.
Oh, okay. Hawana, you did yours yesterday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is grammar. Okay. So we're doing diagramming. So on like Monday we will do like the summarizing of we're actually reading Their Eyes Are Watching God. So they'll be summarizing, doing a rough draft summarizing on Monday. On Tuesday, they will be analyzing and identifying things that they learned, lessons that they learned in the story. Then they will be putting it all together, their diagram, putting it all together to come up with the summary, looking, and then they're going to be also have to look for misspellings, indentions, making sure that they have their each paragraph, beginning, middle, end.
Mhm. Okay.
And then they will be each presenting their take on the book on Friday.
You got some work for them. That's one grammar lesson.
Mhm.
You make them work, mama. Anybody else?
I did my homework this time.
You did it this time. You didn't do it last time, Londa?
See what happened was I'm about as bad as the kids, right?
No, you good. Come on.
But I did go back and do the first assignment also. But I really reflected on what the question you asked in terms of what I want my son to get out of schooling. And so our focus is on writing and grammar. He does not like to write, but he has a writer's mind. So we're focusing on, we have a box curriculum. So I went through every chapter and just pulled out all of the rubrics to help give us a guideline with our writings. And I know that he does better when we have conversations about the topics before he begins to write. And then, so I just have it laid out where we're going to do brainstorming and focusing on a couple of topics that will be of interest to him. And then we'll bring it back to reflecting on written literature. So I have everything pulled out in terms of how many writing assignments we'll be focusing on, the topics, along with the parts of speech. And the area that really does not make sense to him is the English language. So focusing on the spelling rules. He enjoys Spanish more because it makes more sense. So we're just going to try to focus on those things. So although he's high school, I'm trying to keep a little fun in it at the same time, making him work for it. So.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have their homework from last night that wants to tell me so I can add them to the wheel?
Sorry, I'll get caught up tomorrow.
Okay.
I've been teaching for the last 2 days, and today was my first day where I'm not teaching online. So I'll get caught up, I promise, tomorrow.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to snitch a little bit. Deshawn is amazing, guys. So Deshawn, all the time I talk about those co-op groups, like the group buys. She was one of the main groups that I used all of the time. She was amazing, blessing us with her time and her energy to get those for us. But unfortunately, she doesn't do anymore, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But that was her gift. She was amazing at it with the homeschool community, specifically us, getting group buys for us. It was amazing. So I appreciate her. She was a blessing when I first started because she was like, okay, I got this group buy. I got this group buy. Child was buying all kind of stuff that we never used. So I appreciate you.
No problem. I mean, when COVID started, I thought about starting it back up. But then after I talked to a lot of the vendors that we had worked with, the amount that they were requiring was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like, you would probably end up just buying it on your own because what they were requiring was outrageous. And then they stopped not wanting to work with homeschool co-ops. So sometimes I do it. We do have a small knit group of people that we still do together. So if you want me to put you in touch with that part of it, I will, because we do operate still, but it's on a very, very small level.
Okay.
So but I'll message you about that.
Yeah,
If
do that.
anyone's
And then
interested
if
in
you
doing
guys
that.
have any questions, let me know and I will get you guys in touch with her. But yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. So thank you for that. I don't know, but short of messages or comments, I don't think I've ever actually said that to you personally, but thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. So nobody has their homework from today. Is there anybody that is not on the wheel that had their homework for Monday that I did not add today?
This is Portia.
Okay.
Hey, I missed the first class, and so I didn't do that one yet. And this one I didn't really sit down and write, but I just want to verbalize. You don't have to put me on the wheel, but I just kind of want to talk out, say what I do have planned from what you have talked about. I do have, as far as what I want to focus on with my kids, I did want to make sure we had a foundation of our spirituality, as well as some financial things, and then have the independent things for my kids. My son is 6, so for him, I want to focus more on uh, writing, his writing, working more on his math and reading. And so we have some worksheets I pulled for his reading assignments. And so I'll pull those from online using different sites. And then for him and Hannah, my daughter's 4, we'll do reading aids. We have math worksheets that we'll use for the Christian work. So I do have a Christian, there was a woman, and I'm sorry, I don't have the particular curriculum, so I didn't have it written down. But there's a lady who did a foundational thing for kids that you could do, teaching about the Bible and stuff. And so I did buy that workbook that we'll work out of, and I bought some financial workbooks for kids, including a Dave Ramsey after you mentioned it. So kind of just introducing them to some beginning basics on those. Hannah, I did buy a kindergarten workbook online through the Teachers Pay Teachers, I think. And so I'll pull worksheets from there to introduce her. I'm still working on letter recognition. She's doing a lot better with that, and letter sounds. And she started doing the Little Bob Reader books. So we'll continue on working with that, and some basic math sheets for her. But my biggest thing for her is, as well as writing, and just, beginning that reading, her reading lessons. And then we have some Black literature things that I want to, focus on with them as well. So, and then we'll have some set times to just read some books together. I'll pick certain books and we'll read and kind of highlight that. But I haven't broken it all down properly yet because we were out of town last night, and so I didn't get back home and do the work to write it down.
Okay. All right. Well, I got you. The wheel is saved this time. Okay. Y'all watching me do it this time. So we're good. And then I'll go back and make sure that we're good from yesterday. So today is going to be fairly easy. I don't have a bunch of slides or all that good stuff. We are going to start working on our actual schedule for the next 6 weeks. Okay. So we're going to look at the calendar. I say the next 6 weeks, but we're just going to do probably January. But we're going to start looking at the calendar. And the very first thing that we want to do is mark out our non-negotiables, right? So those things that we absolutely have to, cannot bypass, like those type of things. So let me get to that screen. And this is just a basic calendar that I have on Canva that I've created. It's not anything perfect, it's not by far, because I actually use a different planning software. I use Homeschool Manager to do their stuff. And so this is just a paper copy so that I can show you, but typically I wouldn't do it on here. Okay. So this is just a basic calendar for January. We're going to do our non-negotiables for January. So basically match them up with our calendar. Is that big enough so you guys can see? Because I just made it small on my screen because I'm smart like that. Let's see.
Maybe a little bigger.
Maybe a little bigger. Okay, let me see what I can do here. I'm trying to flick y'all over. Bear with me. Come on, Zoom.
While you're pulling that up, I did also want to mention, hi, I'm Danielle.
Hi.
And I couldn't find the link for yesterday.
Okay.
So that's why I wasn't on yesterday.
Okay.
But it looks like you guys did maybe lesson planning for homework yesterday, as I'm understanding it.
Mm-hmm. So what we did was I had them go on to, we were using pre-planned material. So I had them use pre-planned material and try to plan based off of that to try to basically make the job easier for them, if that makes sense. Because we'll probably use some type of pre-planned material, but we're not quite sure how to move forward with it. So basically, I just had them plan it based off of that. So find something that's pre-planned and plan your own lesson based off of that. So I think a lot of them use IXL just as an example, but you can use whatever you want to use as far as that's concerned. Okay, so let's do that. I don't think I can make it bigger. Okay. It's not cooperating. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, so we're gonna do the non-negotiables, right? The things that we cannot change. So that would be your work schedule, doctor's appointments, anything to that effect is what we would do, okay? And so for me, I know for a fact, for me, we are not going to do school on these days for sure. And I don't think, I'm trying to make it bigger, guys. Is that better? Yeah, okay, there we go. So I know for sure what days we are not going to do school, okay? So I'm just gonna put here, no school. That's non-negotiable for me, those days. Let's see, it's being weird, okay. Y'all, hold on, Zoom is weird. I can't see what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna put that there. I know that we will not be at school on probably, I wanna say Monday and Tuesday for us, but I know for sure Monday. So we're not gonna have school on Monday. We're not coming back until that Tuesday. I can say that almost 100%, okay? So that's one day that I know that we won't have school. And I'm looking at my calendar, so making sure that there's nothing that I've planned for the next 6 weeks. I don't necessarily work, so I set my own working hours, so that's not something I would have to enter on here, but that may be something that you might have to enter on your stuff, okay? So I know that we're not gonna do no school on the 3rd, okay, and then I'm just going through my calendar and marking anything that I know is going to happen or needs to happen or whatever the case may be. So for us, we are traveling. I told you guys, I mentioned this on the live maybe, that we are going out of town this week right here, these 3 days right here. So I would put, trip to Houston. Okay, for me, my thought process is when we're going out of town, short of certain instances, depending upon how the tournament is, when it's a sports event, if it's our national tournament, then we're extremely busy. There's only basketball. There's no time to do educational field trips. But in this particular instance, there may be an opportunity for that. So I would say trip to Houston or trip Houston, whatever. And then I would put in there maybe like a ed field trip. So I'll start looking for something to, and y'all, I'm typing around my microphone and I can't see my keyboard. So my hands are off. That's what's happening right now. Okay. So the trip to Houston is what we're doing these days right here. Okay. So we're probably going to leave the 12th. I think we leave the 12th and we go across this way. So yeah, we won't be back until. So I'll start looking for an educational field trip of some sort to go with those 3 days that we'll be down in Houston. And then also I'll start looking for lessons to go along with that possible educational field trip that we're going to do. But that's just what I'm putting on there for now. So I'm going through my calendar. That's basically all I'm doing. Non-negotiables, things that we have to do. Any holidays or something like that. So we'll do MLK Day, right? On the 17th. And I don't really teach MLK Day. Like I don't do anything for MLK Day. I know that may sound funny, but I feel like our history is way more than just that. So we may watch a documentary or something like that to that effect, but I'm not going to do a full lesson on MLK because again, my kids are 17, 15, and 11. They know the story. They know what he's about. They've visited Atlanta. They've seen the church. They've seen his house. They've seen all of that. So they know what it's about. And so I don't know what I'll do, but I'm going to put that on there just in case. We may end up going to the parade. I don't know. I'm just going to put that on there. Again, we're putting non-negotiables. Okay. So I'm just going through my calendar all the way down to the 31st to see what we have that's non-negotiable. So those are non-negotiable. Some other things that are non-negotiable for us for our particular family, is that we do Spanish classes every Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, they have to be there because I pay for them. So they're gonna have their hands there. So they're doing Spanish at 10 on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next pretty much all month is basically what they're scheduled for. So again, all I'm doing is the non-negotiables. This has to happen. They're like, we can't miss it because then I miss the money that I paid. It's gone. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Okay. Should have made those a different color. And this is going to look funny to you because this is not how I normally do it. Like I told you, I do it on Homeschool Manager and have everything in one place. So it looks weird and I apologize for that. But that's the basis of what I'm doing. Basically, if there were any birthdays in our family or anything to that effect, then I would put those in there because in our family, we take off birthdays, anniversaries. It's a free day for us in our house. If there are any co-op trips or anything like that, that stuff is put on here so I know what I'm working with on those days. But as of January right now, this is all that I have. Okay, this is it. Let me know if you're with me. Give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know you're good. If you have any questions, thank you, Londa. I appreciate it. If you have any questions in the meantime. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, Danielle. All right, so non-negotiables, okay? Now, based off of my schedule that I'm looking at here, and that would be doctor's appointments. My son does have doctor's appointments with his immunologist. Hey, Deshaun, you got a question?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Do you do majority all, you may have said this the other two classes, do you do all your planning digitally or do you do yours both?
All digital, all of it. So I will go into that real quick. Let me see if let me know if you can see my screen. Did it switch for you? Or is it still on the calendar?
It switched.
Okay. So I go to Homeschool Manager. And I use I use Homeschool Manager, and this is basically the plan that we're using for whatever. This is how I schedule their stuff, doctor's appointments, everything. So whatever they're doing is going to be in here. And I can actually take this and I can download it and it'll print. It'll look just like this. It'll print it for them. They have access. So it's one account, but there's an account for an admin and then there's an account for the kids to go in and check their work so they can't change. But they can either do that or I'll print it for them and they'll have this as a copy. So I do all digital. And the only reason why is because I don't like carrying all that stuff around, to be honest with you. Notebooks, the papers flying all over the place. All that good stuff. And even the days like this right here, where it's red, that shows that we were not in school on those days. So it allows me to mark those days as well and keep track of it as well.
Okay. Is it tablet friendly? Is that like, I have an iPad. I mean, I have paper.
It works on iPad, but it does not work on your phone.
Okay.
Okay. So there's no app or anything for it at this point.
Okay.
But it does work on your iPad because the kids use that on their iPad. And I imagine on a tablet, it would work as well because of that. But anything smaller, I don't think it works on.
Okay. Thank you.
This is great.
I use this as well, but in conjunction with it, I use a thing called School Calendar Calculator. And that's exactly the website. It's called School Calendar Calculator. And you put in how many days, like, you have to do the 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
It calculates everything for you. You go in there and you put in the days that you don't want. You block out the days. It's very easy and simple. You block out the days that you're not going to be having school. Mm-hmm. And then it'll and you can print it out as well. And it's really neat. And it basically lets you know what days you need to be schooling outside of the days that you have blocked out.
Okay. Can you do me a favor, put that in the chat so just in case somebody wants to look at it, they can have access to it?
Yes.
Thank you. Did somebody else want to ask a question, or was that their question?
Mine was basically that question. I want to get that information as well as know if anyone's worked with Google Calendar, because I just started, but if I need to look into this homeschool manager, I would like to know, who thinks is best or
I
pros
use
and cons better.
I use Google Calendar and I use Google Classroom with my son. I'm finding that I don't like the Google Calendar because I teach online, and it tends for me, his stuff tends to run into my teaching stuff. So I was looking for something that was a little bit more I can separate for him to have something to look at. Versus because he doesn't always like to jump into Google Classroom, and Google Classroom tends to get a little disorganized too when you're posting stuff, and I'm trying to get away from that. So, but I've used Google Calendar before.
Yeah, I have used Google Calendar before as well, but for me, for my business stuff, for all 3 kids, and then for our family stuff, it was jumbled. I couldn't separate the things. Like, it was like, well, who has this do and who has that do? So it was easier for me to do like separate school stuff completely. But Google Calendar, Google Classroom has come a long way. I've told y'all that before, that I had started with Google Classroom and I didn't like it, so I stopped using it. Then I went back to it. They made some great updates and it works well. It's just not as easy for me. Like, for this, if I wanted to add an assignment, even a quick assignment, and I'm not going to really add it because it'll add to their grade point average, whatever the case may be. But for instance, if I wanted to do a task that could be a chore or something to that effect, I could add that. Practice, anything like that, that's down there, the chore, the event. If I wanted to do an assignment and I need to add it, I could do math 13 and quick add task, and it'll add it down here to this area real quick with no issue. So I like it better. This is probably, I've used a few lesson planning softwares. I've used this one and lessontrek.com. Lessontrek.com was really good, but it was very apparent that they hadn't worked out all the kinks of it. It was fairly new and they were still trying to do it. But this right here has been a blessing for me and all 3 kids, because they can all, let's see if I can get it to print now that didn't I select for it to print? I know I did. Hold on, y'all.
Hey, Sean,
Yeah.
this is Londa. So y'all are amazing. So I have like 3 or 4 different calendars that I use.
Mhm.
And I just realized the one we use for our family, we use it through iCloud and it connects to our phone. And so when we do field trips and things like that, or people's work schedules, appointments and stuff like that, we'll have a different calendar, it's a different color in the app. Do you think something through iCloud, do you think something like that could work with lesson planning? Because you can access it on your computer, but you can also access it on your phone.
I do, but again, it would be, for me, it would be an organization issue. I don't want to see their lessons on my regular calendar. Just go get your stuff done. Like, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
for me, that would be an issue. But if that's where everybody's going, and you try it out for a week and see how it is. Homeschool Manager is, thank you, Kristen. Homeschool Manager, I don't remember. Let me stop lying. I think it was like $49 or something for the year. Something to that effect. But it does literally everything. They have a book list. It does a transcript. It keeps track of attendance. It does the grading, the report card. Like, I can reprint. So if somebody's requesting a report card, I'm pulling up the grades, but now I'm scared because I don't know what they look like. Let's see. So for Mason, for his math, he's got a 95% based off of, me entering in the grades. Of course, it's all the stuff that I haven't graded. But yeah, it tells you all of it, right? So he's got extra credit points in the history. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Yolanda. 30-day free trial for $49.99 for the year. It's good. I'm not gonna lie. This has been the best for us. And again, I like the fact that I can print report cards, which I need for their sports. Transcript, like my daughter needs a transcript for the dual enrollment. Instead of me having to do a bunch of extra, I just printed that real quick. I didn't have to create it. I did create it still in the same token, but I didn't have to. So it's worked for me. And that's not me selling to you, because I don't get any, you know, if I get an affiliate, I'll say, hey, I tried this and I like it. You should try it too. And I'm getting paid if you get it. Like I'll tell you that. But no, I'm not getting, there's no affiliate or anything like that. I actually think it's the best. What you got for me? Go ahead.
I love it.
Yeah. Who said that?
Homeowner. I love
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's great. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's great. Steph, you said you had a question?
Yes, being that I'm in Texas and there's really no, we're just free to do whatever. I kind of vaguely, I don't really do grades right now because my kids are literally third, fourth, and then kinder first. Would you recommend getting something like this when they get like in 6th grade and up to really start tracking the grades and stuff? Or should I start now practicing, or what are your recommendations?
It's up to you. And again, because you're in Texas, it's not required. The only thing that I originally graded was their test, right? I wanted them to see how they were doing with their tests. Like assignments, I never did that. The only reason why I do that now is because the sports team that my son is on, the basketball team, they ask for report cards. They want to make sure the kids are doing, like they ask what curriculum are they using. They want to make sure that they're actually doing schoolwork. And they ask what, you know, for grades. So that's the only reason why I do it. But otherwise, I mean, especially in Texas, it's a personal decision. You pick whatever works. Okay.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And some kids are motivated by grades, right? So if you have a baby who loves to see the star on the paper, who loves to see that, then go for it. But if you're, my kids don't care, fam. They're 17 and 15. They're like, get this over with. And like my kid, y'all, and it was so frustrating. Again, I told you my husband and I are two different people. My husband, child, he made it. He said last night, I don't know how I made it through college, but I made it. I don't know how. And me, and I'm like, I was that kid that was studying and working my behind off trying to get stuff done. And so my daughter is like that, but my son, one of my sons is like, oh, I got a 71 on a quiz. I'm good. Yeah, I don't want to redo it. My other two are like, I got a 71 on a quiz. I'm going to go study. Can I retake the test? So that the motivation of that higher level grade, that matters to those two. But the other one, he's like, nah, fam. And then if I come back to him and say, okay, we'll do this problem, he can still do it. 9 times out of 10, he just missed something simple in a step. And that's why he got a 71. But yeah, I mean, whatever motivates your babies. Okay. I see you, Portia. What you got?
Okay, so yeah, she kind of asked a similar question I was going to ask. I'm not really doing grades because my kids are so little. So I wanted to know if I could still utilize it without inputting grades, just for the organization piece. And then the other one is when you are doing grades and you're utilizing these different curriculum, like, you know, piecemealing things together, do you just have to then calculate your own grade for each, whatever, like you said, if you decide to do assignments or tests, you just come up with how you're going to grade the particular item, and then you have to go in and input each time that they did something, what it was and what the score was, right?
Yeah. So for instance, like history, you guys know that I don't do history books, period. We're reading books, we're doing videos, whatever the case may be. So they have vocabulary list and they take a vocabulary test. I do the same thing. I give them the vocabulary questions or whatever it is. And however many they get right, if they got 8 out of 10 right, I calculate it real quick and input it in there. So, I mean, yeah, I do all that. It all just depends on what we're doing. Again, my kids are older and my 17-year-old thrives when she's doing, like, she likes to see grades. So I do it for her. My 15-year-old doesn't care, but I want him to care. So I do it for him. But I mean, it's a personal decision unless you're required to turn in something to the state or something like that. I mean, it's just a personal decision on what you choose to do.
So, and do you use a 10-point or 7-point scale or?
Whatever is set up on a homeschool manager. I looked at it and I don't remember it. Let's see, because there you can set everything. Y'all don't look at me because I got all them assignments I got to grade. Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. Let's see. There is a let's see, task and weights. So you can change that, right? So task or 10%, you can change what that is, right? And then there's a grading scale somewhere in here. I just don't remember where it is. Right there. grading scale. Okay. And so you can change the grading scale according to whatever you want it to be. So you have
Okay.
control on how you want this to look for you and your family. You really do.
And can you add links in there for them to get to assignments on there? Or
Yes.
they,
Yep. Let me go to, let's see. And like I said, I'm not selling this, y'all. I will tell you flat out when I sell. But for instance, let's do their vocabulary chapter test. Let's go in here, quiz or something. Y'all, the screen is weird. Bear with me, okay? Let's go here into the schedule. Let me find one for you. Oh, we'll do Spanish. I think the link's in there. Yep, there it is. So this is their Spanish class. This is their Google Meet for the teacher right here. Okay, so they open it up,
okay.
they just click the link and it goes right to the Google Meet. I like it a lot. You can add multiple assignments to, like right here, you can add it to the kids, you can move, you can duplicate assignments, which I just found out because somebody else that I introduced to it said, oh, you can copy assignments over to the other page. I didn't even know you could do that. So yeah. Sharita, I don't know if there is going to be access to the chat on the video. I don't believe so. So I would suggest that whatever links or whatever they're putting in there, that you just kind of copy and paste them, put them somewhere in the meantime, because I don't think you're going to have access in the replay. It's not going to show.
No, I mean like homeschool manager.
Oh, what do you mean?
So a video chat with kids. My kids have been homeschooled the entire time, so they've been enjoying doing videos like they're away from me.
So you can add video links. Is that what you're asking?
Oh, okay.
But you can't add the actual video.
So do like a Google Meet or something,
Uh-huh.
or a Zoom. Oh,
Yeah, you can do that. Kristen says, I see you, Pavi. Kristen says links related to content extensions are the best for us. All they do is click on it after. Yeah, and I've set it up. Yeah, it works. It works for me. I would say there is a 30-day trial. And so if you want to try to see, and that's how I got hooked, to be honest with you. I don't even know how I found this. I don't think anybody told me about it. Y'all know I go down rabbit holes just like you, but I'm pressed to find more information for y'all because I want y'all to succeed. And I was like, let me try this out. So I did the 30-day trial, and I dumped everything else. I was like, delete, delete, delete. And they were like, oh, your free whatever is up. It's time to pay. I was like, the number is like without hesitation, because it was easy for me. It was easier for me in managing 3 kids and the grades and all that good stuff. Attendance, book list, all of that. All of that's managed in one place. All right.
Does it give,
Go ahead.
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Does it give a template for like what subjects you should focus on different ages, or you just completely figure that out how you want?
It's basically just the planning software. So it doesn't give you any of that information. I actually added, like I had to create the school, and I added their student information. Let's see. Child. So I had to add the kids and all their good stuff. I had to add their classes. I had to set up when the semester ends, all of that. Like I set up like it was regular school, basically. Okay.
And when you're looking, this is my last question, I'm sorry,
Sure.
but when you're looking at it, where do you see the difference between your kids? Like I saw the subjects, but I didn't see like where you could just look. Can you get an overview and see each child's name? Like,
So this right here is the dashboard that pulls up. This is my oldest son. Okay. And then there's my youngest son. Okay. I also asked, y'all are getting privy to some personal information. As you notice, I don't say my kid's name out in public. So you're looking at my kid's real name. If you can, just kind of keep that to yourselves because people are crazy. But so this is my oldest son and his assignments that he's supposed to be doing, then my youngest son, and then my daughter. And over here to the right, which I can't see because Zoom is in the way. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. So over here on the right, the ones that are red with the calculator need to be graded. Okay, I haven't graded them yet. They finished them, they marked them done. I haven't graded them yet. So that's for all of them. So that's all his work, everything. So it's separated that way. And then tasks say they don't mark it done because they're actually supposed to go into each assignment and mark it done. It shows up red. So all of this he was supposed to mark done. They all were, and they did not mark them done. So it's showing that they're late. All of these are late.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Poppy, I got you.
Oh, I just wanted to ask a question for someone that may have older kids. What do you do for college? Like, do you start, if they need to, do they grade for high school so they can have that transcript for college, or just go straight to a specific transcript?
Say that again, Poppy. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
You know what? I don't appreciate this.
I'm sorry, friend. Come on. I'm sorry. One more
Okay,
time.
so for the older kids or someone that may be having kids that may be closer to college age or high school age, would they just do a straight transcript for college, or would they do grades for high school so they can go to college?
You're going to need a transcript for college, period.
Okay, but not a report card necessarily.
Not necessarily a report card. But you are definitely going to need a transcript. They're going to want to see what courses they took. They're going to want to see what grades, and especially in dual enrollment, because for certain things like the TSI here in Texas, if she didn't pass that TSI, she was not going to be in a dual enrollment program. It was like a level. She had to pass it, advance to get into college courses or the remedial courses, or she wasn't going to participate at all. So they want to see that. And if you are having your kid in college courses and you're doing a transcript and they're getting D's in classes, D's and F's, they're going to be like, this is a higher level. Why are you thinking your child is going to be okay in this level? So yeah,
Got it. That's what I wanted to know.
yeah, transcript is the most important when they get into high school. Another tip too is if you're doing high school or they're taking high school courses, anything to that effect, start working on the transcript immediately, whatever they're working on. So my son is a freshman. So whatever classes he's done for this first semester are already on his transcript, because once he gets to senior year, we forget stuff, right? Like we forget to do, oh, he did take that, didn't he? Like even the volunteer hours, you can put volunteer hours on that particular transcript. And if I don't keep track of what he's doing, when it's time to put it on the transcript, I'm not going to remember. So at the end of the semester, write down everything you need to do, put it in the transcript, save it, keep it moving, or just keep a running tab. Freshman year, he did this, but at least keep some type of record, because that's going to bite you in the butt if you don't later on. Okay. Everybody else good?
Thank you, Fran.
You're welcome. My bad. I'm sorry. Okay. So we'll go there. So we're going back to the schedule. So I know that these are my non-negotiables. Now, if you have to leave, you're okay to leave. I will still send the recording, all that good stuff. It is 12:45 and normally we're done by now. Looks like I'll try to finish in the next 10 or 15 minutes, get questions and we can go. So these are my non-negotiables. Now, for me, I want to determine what type of school week are we going to have. Are we going to do Monday through Friday like we have been, or are we going to go back to the old format, Monday through Thursday? According to my work schedule, remember I tell you guys all the time about clients that work weird hours, they may only homeschool Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I'm going to determine what my actual work week is, okay? I mean, school week is. So for us, our school week is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's going to be all of them, okay? Something that my kids mentioned is that they want to do more field trips. When we first started homeschooling, we were going on more field trips. So my kids want to do more field trips. So I am going to actually maybe make a note of something right here on Fridays that they want more field trips, so I can add that. So I can keep that to the forefront of my mind. Remember, this is their journey. So you want to make sure that it's fun, right? You don't want to, do all that kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm just going to put that right there on the Friday so I can do whatever it is I need to do. Then I can go in and pick what we're going to do. Like, what are we actually going to do as far as the subjects. Okay. And again, stop me if you got a question, let me know, because I'm not looking at the chat. So I'll look at it when I finish. But so for instance, we're doing math. The subjects that we do every day, character ed. Okay, math, character ed, reading, comp, or I'll just put ELAR. How about that? So I know that we are doing these every single day. It doesn't matter. All three of these are going to be done. Okay. So I'm going to do this. We're doing no school on this day. I'm going to put here. I'm just getting a basic plan, right? And this is what I would do in the The homeschool manager, I would set this up in the homeschool manager that math, ELA, and character ed will be there every single day. Okay, depending upon the lessons or whatever it is that I'm doing as far as history is concerned, I'm going to pick when we're going to do history. When we do history in our family is Mondays and Wednesdays, right? So I'm gonna put that there. And again, I'm doing all of this. You can set up the days, the courses, the credit hours, all of that you can set up in, well, that's not, hold on, y'all, that's not Monday, but anyway, so we'll do that. Okay, and I'm not doing anything there. So let me delete that. So we're doing history on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we typically have our test or exam or quiz or something like that, okay? So basically all I'm doing is mapping out my schedule. And I would do this for the week in the, in the homeschool manager. So right now they're still working on their physics, right? They're doing the next unit. So they're in the next semester of physics. So I'm gonna add physics. We do physics on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm gonna add that there, okay? And I know this is messy. It wouldn't typically be, okay? So then we'll do the physics, and then we will probably do remember I told you yesterday about breaking classes up to fit the child. And so typically we would probably do physics, like a physics test, either Friday or Monday. But I would give him an opportunity to study for the test that's on that Monday here. So we do that here, and then so they got their Spanish, they got their physics, they got character ed. I'm missing something and I don't know what it is. Spanish. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I missing, y'all? In their 6 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I missing, y'all? I don't know. If you see it, let me know. If you know me, you know I usually do 6 classes. So we'll do this. And then for here, remember I told you that my kids have a study hall. I'm teaching them how to study. So they actually have a class on Homeschool Manager that says study hall, and they are studying for the test, for the history test and the physics test and the math test, all of that. They're actually studying for those. So I would do this, set up what we're going to do all the way down for the next 6 weeks. So I have somewhat of a plan. So now my schedule is pretty much set. Now for this time right here, where we're going to be in Houston, I'm going to start looking for museums, fun things to do, all that kind of stuff to go along. There's a schoolhouse museum down there. I know, of course, there's Galveston, which is a trash beach. I don't, if you're in Houston, my bad, but I don't like it. But yeah, so I would be finding things for them to do down in Houston. The NASA, the Space Museum is down there, isn't it? Yes, it's down there. So maybe we would, instead of doing, we would go through physics. I would go through physics and see if I could find something to help or go along with something, and then go along with NASA, the NASA theme. And then we go down there and visit the actual museum. So that would be our field trip. Okay. So again, this is just a week, but this is the basis of how our school week is going to look for the very first week of what you call it. Can you close my office door, please? Mace. So let me know, close my office door, babe. That's okay, close my door. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me see what's in the chat. How far out would you suggest planning throughout the year? So Londa, for us, I just do a broad plan for the year, but I typically only plan 6 weeks at a time for me. That works for me. And then what happens too is, say we're having a mom day, right? We're having one of those days. What I tell y'all last night, we had to be husband's boo thing late at night. You know, we get up and we tired, we exhausted, right? And so it may be a day where independent work is not working for us. And so what I can do in Homeschool Manager is I can just move the day over. I can move whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And again, y'all, I pray that I don't move something and it jacks it up. But for instance, this class, I can take it and move it over to, as long as there's another Spanish class over here, I can move it there. Let's see if it'll let me do it. But there's no Spanish class, so it's not going to do it. Or I can click in it and I can go up here and I can actually change the day. Okay, so I can change it to 7th of December. So now that class is gone and moved. So you have some type of plan, but you can always move it or do whatever it is that you need to do as far as that's concerned. Okay. Does anybody have any more questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Portia. When you had the comment about the transcripts versus report cards, if you're doing a transcript, and I know this is for older kids possibly, but shoot, I lost my question. When you do the transcript, do you have to do the daily grades, or you can just do tests? Like, do you have to do assignment grades as well when you're doing the transcript?
The transcript is just the cumulative, so it's all of it, okay? So whatever they did for that class. So for a transcript, let's go back and let's look at it. Where's that?
I guess I'm just wondering, like, if someone didn't do those daily assignments, would they still accept it if it was just test grades?
Yeah, so it's not going to be test grades in the transcript. It's literally all of the grades combined and giving them what they need. Let's see if I can. Listen, I haven't been here in a while, so don't fuss at me. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I synced it. I just don't know where I synced it. Let's see. Let's go back here. Okay, we're doing the most right now. Let's go back here. And we're going to go to the grade book. Nope, that didn't take us there. Let's go back here. Book list, documents. Let's go to documents. There we go. So we'll go to the transcript. And we'll generate the transcript so you can see.
Do you know if there's any reason why you should start like immediately, like even if they're little, or just high school matters?
High school, they don't care.
Okay.
Colleges don't care about what they're doing in middle school or elementary unless they're taking a high school level course.
Right. Okay.
So it's generating the thing, and once it does, I will get it pulled up for you. It may be taking a minute because I'm on here versus just being at home doing it by myself. But once it does, I will pop it up and I'll show it to you. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I'm over here loving this homeschool manager. The whole time we've been talking, I've been setting mine up.
Listen, I'm telling you, I told you, I was good with Google when Google did their updates, and I was like, oh, okay, this is better. You know, it's pretty cool. But then I went to Lesson Trek, and Lesson Trek was okay. But like I said, it was very apparent that they were still working out some kinks. And the guy who was over it, it was a veteran, and he liked hearing from us. Like if I said, hey, this might be better, this might work better for us, he'd take notes and then do whatever it is that he needs to do as far as that's concerned to make it better. So he was really good at that. But then when I saw homeschool manager, I was like, bye, Lesson Track. Like this is added to my homeschool budget from this point on. Like it is what it is at this point.
Quick question, where do I go? Because I put in all my subjects on here and I need to add vocabulary and I can't see where. I don't know where do I go to add a new subject?
Do you have a ELA subject, or you haven't added any of your subjects?
Well, I added the subjects and I wanted to do a vocabulary one because I for my planning brain, I need to separate those.
Okay. Yeah. So you would add it the same way, the same way you did it. So let's go into this, guys, right here. And so right here, it has his, personal information, of course. And then that's his grade, his year, all that good stuff. If I go here and click edit, I can add a new subject right here.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to separate it and call them each a, oh, he's doing good, child. Look at him. That baby doing good. So if you wanted to, y'all don't pay attention. I'm telling you, I don't be paying attention. But yeah, if you wanted to add a new subject, you could add a new subject there. And then when I was telling you, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna do vocab because that's what you said. I can pick whether or not what kind of course it is. So it's a normal course, AP, dual enrollment, honors class, or something that doesn't even need to go on the transcript. I can pick that. I can pick how many credit hours. So for some of those classes that we're only doing for for a semester, they're only getting 0.5. So I can change that according to what I need. You can pick your personal grading system, or you can grade externally, or you can use theirs. So you have that option. You can use their schedule or your own schedule, whatever the case may be. You want to do a course description. All of this information is going to go on the transcript if you put it on here. The curriculum, the course code, the dates that they're starting and the dates that they're ending. You can put all of that in if they're doing it outside. So with my daughter doing dual enrollment, I would put the college that she's going to be attending. Okay. And then
Okay.
once I do that and save, let's see, I can click over here to the schedule and it allows me to pick the days of week. Remember, we were talking about that. So we're only going to do vocabulary Mondays and Wednesdays for 60 minutes a day. It puts that in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Anybody else?
When you asked her if she had ELA on there, was there a way that she could separate to put vocabulary, reading, or whatever else like topics would fall under there? Or you're just saying just include it yourself in there and not necessarily separate them under ELA? Like they don't separate. I don't know if you get what I'm asking.
So you would, if you're having the course, so like for us, we do ELA as well. The ELA would be the course subject, right? The assignment would be vocabulary. So I would go in and add an actual assignment, vocabulary words, and then the whatever list or assignment that I have for that.
Okay.
But for her, she was saying she wants to see it, everything laid out. So she specifically is going to separate it and have a class called vocabulary, even though it's not really a class, right? Okay. Jacinda said, how do you lesson plan for character ed? So it depends on what we're using. We originally were reading scripture and going over that and breaking that down. And that got a little difficult for some other reasons. I'll just say that's for personal issues. That was an issue for us. My kids were lacking some character issues in specific areas. And so we began to do some research on specific books that were good for teenagers and motivating them to do what they needed to do. And so we would read a book or read certain books, and then they would have to write or do some type of proof that they understood whatever it was they read, how they felt, what they thought about it, if it was true, is it something they could implement, something like that. And those books were like, one of them was, I Told You Make Your Own Bed, Who Moved My Cheese, those type of books to help with that. But planning for character ed, if you're in Texas, could be anything. It could be volunteer hours. It could be Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. It could be the JROTC. It could be, anything, that you want done. It could be going down and raking the leaves for the elderly neighbor, whatever. Basically, Texas wants us to build great citizens, to be honest. And that could be, again, anything. And people say also that you could use, like, how you learn about the servicemen, the policemen, and all that community, all that kind of stuff. You could do that as well. Yeah, we're not doing that. You're absolutely welcome. Okay. All right. Do y'all have any questions, y'all? I'm so anxious now that I have put my baby's information out there. Now I'm like, oh, pray for you, girl. Because I normally have a dummy account and I did not have one today. All right.
I was just gonna remind you about that.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload it into my editing software and see if there's like something I can add to blur during that time with their name and date of birth and all that stuff before I send it out. But
So
my
you-
notes.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
It's gonna
thank
be
you.
okay.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
have a question. Do you
Sure.
guys ever get so lost in the planning aspect of it? Like, I looked at the program you just mentioned and I'm scared to get in there because once I get in there, we may not have school because I'm so excited about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do y'all bring yourselves back?
I mean, sometimes you get so tired of being behind and you realize that you're the problem, right? One of the things that I realized that our school day was lasting way longer than it should have been. And part of the reason was because I was all over the place. I was out there trying to put, like I said yesterday, trying to put laundry in there. I had a business call and my kids are behind me trying to do schoolwork and I'm on a business talking to a trucker at that, right? So I'm talking to the trucker or talking to a broker and there's trucks around them. So they're loud. I'm yelling so they can hear me. And my kids are sitting there like, ma'am. So, I mean, you're going to have to be intentional is what I'll say. You're going to have to be intentional in staying focused. Anybody else? You're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else? All right. Well, that's all I have for you today. Give me a while to upload this and send it to you because I'm going to go and make sure everything's good beforehand. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to email me. I will, hey, Malika, I will be on here. So if you want to ask your question, but you're scared to ask in front of anyone else, you are more than welcome to stay. I will not leave until y'all are ready to roll. You're welcome. You're welcome. But we'll be back here. We have 2 more days this week. Oh, homework. Set up your schedule, right? So set up at least for the first week of January, set up your schedule and know what subjects you're going to do that first week. Thank you for the reminder because I forgot. So set up your schedule for the next, I would say at least the next week, but preferably the next 6 weeks. Your non-negotiables, what subjects you're going to do on what days you're going to do school, all that stuff. All right.
I just want to say this was amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm not naturally organized, but I need the organization. So I definitely appreciate you sharing all that you have learned. This was very helpful.
You're welcome. And you'll get unorganized at some point, right? Like stuff will be out of whack, right? I mean, like I told you, I'm doing this class and typically I am, head down focused. And the way that I plan is when I'm off, I plan a subject a day for all kids. So I would plan history for all 3. The next day I would do science for all 3, then math for all 3. Usually my head is down when I'm off planning or whatever. Well, I haven't started any of that because I'm doing this. So sometimes you get off a track, you get off track. So the first probably day or so of homeschooling will be read, do your math, and I have everything else for you later. So, give yourself some grace, y'all. It's not easy. We've taken on a huge task, but we can do it. We can do it. All right.
Real quick about the non-negotiables. Give me an example.
Doctor's appointments, work schedule, like the scheduled Spanish class, that's on their time. So I have to be there when they say that we've got to be there. So yeah, just those basic non-negotiables. Again, like my son has his appointments with immunologists every 2 weeks. Well, we have to have our behinds there every 2 weeks. So that's non-negotiable. That's on everybody's calendar so they know. My younger son and my oldest daughter don't go with us. They know what they're supposed to be doing while my oldest son and I are gone. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Anybody else? Y'all can
real
stay.
quick, I'm gonna go check out this homeschool manager. I'm getting really excited. I'm over here looking at it. But just really quick, do you have anything, any kind other than that you can't pull up on your phone?
Say it one more time. Do I have any what?
Any cons?
The cons about not being, no, that's the only con that I have. Is that you can't pull it up on your phone. Otherwise, I mean, it's doing what I need it to do right now, which is keep me organized. Stay with the grades and the transcripts are that keeping me on task as far as that. And then also I think honestly, more so than the kids, it keeps me on track to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So yeah, I mean, I don't have any cons, but you have 30 days free to figure out whatever con you can figure out, right? Tear it up. It's free for 30 days. Tear it up. And then you can decide when it's time to pay whether or not you want to, use it or not.
And when you say you can't use it on the phone, you mean through an app, or can you not pull up the website on the phone and
You can't
log
pull
in?
up the website on your phone. Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she's working on that. I'm in contact with her about that. She's working on that. She is a homeschool mom who has basically pretty much built this for us.
Oh,
And
wow.
so she's trying to work out the kinks that are happening with the desktop. And then once she does that, she's trying to move on to the mobile version of it. But yeah, she's doing good things though.
Thank you. I might have to go on that journey with her. While she figures
Yeah,
out.
that's it. I'm good with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. Anybody else? Y'all are dismissed. No, I'm playing. If you'd like to go, you're more than welcome to go. I will stay on here for you to ask questions. It was good seeing you again, Malika. It's been a while. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Yep, I'll be back tomorrow at 12. So come on.
I have a quick question
Sure.
for you.
Come on.
I noticed that you have Dreamscape on your plan, and I have not really dug much into Dreamscape. What do you have? My son is in 4th grade.
Mhm.
So do you think it's something that's beneficial for a 4th grader, or do you think it's something I can pass on?
I have, it is beneficial. I have my 15-year-old using it. I don't know if you remember, but my 15-year-old has some comprehension issues. And so
Okay.
he's behind in that particular area. And the questions are difficult. Sometimes I wish that they went in more in depth before they ask the questions that they ask, because it's like, they're like, we didn't even learn that. But they both enjoy it. It's a game. And so they enjoy it. And so to be honest with you, being very frank, I use it when I need independent time with the other kids. So I do put it on their thing or whatever, but if say I'm working with my 11-year-old, I'm like, hey, go do Dreamscape until I'm done with him. And so it could be used as busy work, but I mean, it's helping my son who is having issues and has always had issues, you know, breaking down and understanding what he's reading.
Okay. No, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sitting here planning out the week of the 3rd, just to see, because I'm a paper planner.
Mhm.
So I will probably duplicate whatever is on this digital into my planner. But
Yeah.
I do like having a digital aspect to it. That way, I mean, I'm in Georgia. They don't
Yeah.
require anything.
Right.
But
right.
saying that you homeschool.
Mhm.
But I do keep really good records just in case, you know, the law changes
Mhm.
here.
Yeah. I say that all the time. You don't want that smoke unless you are prepared to fight it, right? Take it to court and fight it. You don't want that smoke. Do what them folks told you to do.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. We I think here you just have to say I'm homeschooling and test every 3rd year.
Yeah.
But I keep all of his records.
Yeah,
Like
I don't.
I keep it all because I don't know. I'm in Georgia. These folks crazy.
See, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. You got an A on your test. Slide it into the trash can. Like
You know what the really cool thing about is that I put his he does a lot of books, and so all of his books are, and I don't have all of them crazy books like, you know, some people have like 15, 20 books. No, we that's not that kind of part. We got like a medium-sized plastic container, and it says kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and they're just packed really neatly and nicely.
Mhm.
And that way, if somebody knock on my door, I just say, here, take the container, do what you do.
Mhm.
Don't come for me. And
Yeah.
here's my planner.
Yeah, mind your own self business. We good over
Right.
it. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
You're
This is
welcome.
awesome.
Thank
I'm
you.
learning a lot.
I that's, you know what, that's shocking to me because you've been doing this way before me. You're a blessing.
I'm learning a lot. I mean,
Appreciate it.
we're slowing things down over here. Like we needed to take a slow down.
Yeah.
Especially with math, we need to slow down because we were juggling Saxon Math, Beast Academy, and he hates Saxon Math.
Mm.
He likes Beast Academy, but he really likes Right Start Mathematics, which is
Okay.
shocking to me. Because I was like, okay, that works.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, so we're slowing down this year
Right.
because we just need it.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, we switched math curriculums for the first time this year. Y'all know I'm a learn math fast head. I always have been. That's what we use. But my kids were like, I want somebody to teach me. And I'm like, fam, I'm not that person. Like, and that's not me. That's not my calling. So we went to teaching textbooks, and that has been a blessing. And then on top of teaching textbooks, what a lot of people don't know is that they offer tutoring over the phone for free. So if your kid does not get it, then you can call them up and say, hey, what's up? Like, what you gonna do about this tutoring you offering? So yeah, I mean, do what works. Do what works.
Yeah, we use teaching textbooks. He likes it. The only issue that I had with them, because he's gifted and he has this whole perfectionist thing going, he keeps checking his score. Like,
Mm.
and I keep trying to explain to him, baby, you got to get through all 22 problems. So the score is going to look this way. See, and he's like, no, it's a 70. I got to go back and do better. So I wish there was a
Yeah.
way, and I've contacted them to say, is there a way that you can turn off on the kid side?
What they say?
They said that they're working on it. I
Oh, okay.
said to turn off the percentages. I said, because he literally loses his mind after every question.
That's
And
Mason. And Mason gets frustrated because if he misses one question, it drops his grade so far. So he can bust his behind, do 20, 21 questions correct and miss one. And it's a pretty big hit on their grading scale. And so, yeah, I mean, I hear you. Let me know, child, because that would be helpful for us.
yeah, but you know what I did notice, which was really helpful for him? I actually print out the lessons. And I know this is probably an extra step, but I print out the lessons for him. So he has a paper copy in front of him.
Oh,
And then he has the digital on there, because sometimes he was like, Mom, he was like, he doesn't like to use the scrapbook on the scrap pad with the new one. So what I do is every week I print out his whatever days we're doing teaching textbooks. I print out that lesson and I hand it to him, and he does all his figuring, and then he'll go in and put his lesson in. And that has cut back a lot of static because
okay.
I can go in and see exactly where his mistake is. And I do like that they now let you go in and edit the grade. So what I do is if he gets it wrong and I look at his scrap paper, and if he can do it again for me correctly, I go in and give him his credit.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So-
See, I don't do that. I'm like, you got it wrong. No, I'm playing. No, I don't. No, I don't edit anything. I didn't know that, but yeah, that's good stuff. That's good info. I would never think to print the lesson, so that's good. You're welcome, Londa.
But
Sean,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Portia. I had a quick. Were you finished? I want to know if I didn't know if I interrupted the last lady.
Oh no, I'm not done.
Okay. You told me once before. What edition of the science books do you use?
For science, we are now using Elemental Science, right?
Right.
Hold on, y'all. We have this Usborne book that in my thing. Hold on. Let's see if it goes better. Nope, because it's green. It's an Usborne book. I don't think you're going to be able to see any of them because, but again, my kids are older. I don't think this would be good for your babies because your babies this is green and this is blue. This is an encyclopedia, Kingfisher's encyclopedia. The book it's huge. I'm sorry, y'all. You're not going to be able to see it because it's actually blue. And I've got that virtual background on, but it's an expensive book, but I've had it. It's called Kingfisher's Science Encyclopedia. And it works no matter what science we're using. It's got great pictures, all that good stuff, good information. So I have that book and my kids are not allowed to touch it because it's expensive. It's like $40.
Yeah, Elemental breaks it. They have 4 different types of, I think 3 or 4 different types that you can get. And you told me before which one you all preferred, but I don't remember offhand. I didn't buy it yet.
I think
You remember?
We're on the logic stage.
Um,
And we're doing the whole kit. So we have a course and we're doing the whole kit where it comes with the experiments and all that stuff.
okay.
If
And
that helps.
with the homeschool manager, can you scan the worksheets or anything in like what they did and have that when you're talking about just having the records, like if you wanted to scan their tests, what it looked like?
I don't believe so.
something?
I
Okay.
haven't seen that. I haven't seen
So you
that.
just keep that yourself if you wanted to keep
If
that
I
kind of
wanted
stuff.
to, yeah. Mhm.
But you don't have to do that.
Mm-mm. I don't,
Okay.
but I mean, you
Mhm.
may, I mean, at the end, when we're doing record keeping, we kind of went over a bunch of it today, but at the end, when we're doing record keeping, I will show you the portfolio that you can create or use or whatever the case may be. And in the portfolio, basically all I keep are tests. And I allow my kids to retake tests. So if they fail a test, we spend a week reviewing whatever it is they failed, and then they retake the test again. And I put the old test in there, and then I put the new test in there. And that was when I was doing portfolios. I'm not doing it anymore, but that's when I was doing portfolios.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You have a good day.
You too.
All
You
right.
too.
bye-bye. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. I got nothing else. Y'all can stay. You can go. You can do what you need to do. probably waiting to see who gonna ask the question.
Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and leave, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I'm supporting, friend. I'm supporting.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you because my other folks dropped off. They left me. No, I'm playing. I appreciate
I'm
it.
just going for our mastermind group.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jaquithia's still here. Kristen left me, child. She left me.
No, we're gonna fight her on Friday.
Yeah. Hilarious. Well, no math. We're not gonna
No,
do
no,
math.
no Friday.
Not mastermind. I mean, you know what I'm talking about for Friday lounge.
Yeah. She